Good morning. Very distinguished people.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Fine, how are you, sir?
Be seated.
Thank you, sir.
I had no idea who was coming. So,
we're very happy to see you. So, we have also come because things are, it's getting better, I think. We're getting clearer in the space of things.
yes,
And mainly we wanted sir to
arranged it. And what he told me was that really the purpose was to review the current status of the preparations for the opening of our great KAPATU University. So I want to thank you all for your presence and of course your dedication. I know that you have been all been involved deeply in what has so far been achieved. To bring this institution from vision to reality. I was honored the other time by default to be the chief guest. I don't know if people noticed how happy I was.
it is captured on the video. So.
Thank you. Pictures or video of that occasion? I haven't seen them.
We can send him.
Yes, sir, we can send.
But, you know, the establishment of a university is a major undertaking. And it requires clarity of purpose, careful planning, teamwork. I know there wasn't unanimity about the establishment of this university. In fact, I've discussed with Dr. Limley and Severino, both in Karamoja and even here in the capital city, and especially at the seat of education in the country. So I'm looking forward to receiving an update, and especially I hope to get a clearer picture of where we stand in the preparation process. I am looking forward to assessing the progress across various areas of work, note what has been accomplished, identify any gaps or concerns, some of which have been occasionally mentioned to me by Severino. And hopefully I'm doing what still needs to be done to ensure readiness for opening. You know, when I came, I thought I was happy the way the crisis was handled.
Yes.
There were quite a few issues. I went for opening. I was told it was unveiling.
Unveiling and Thanksgiving.
So, but this meeting is also important from a strategic point of view. As we prepare to engage supporters, partners, and especially the international fundraising community, which responsibility I begrudgingly accepted because I know how tough it is, and I know the weaknesses I have to achieve it. But it is essential that we have a unified and accurate understanding of the university's progress, priorities, and immediate needs. the strength of our internal coordination will greatly influence the confidence we inspire externally. With the strength of our internal coordination, of course, I was talking to our friend Zell from. He told me the good news that although we talked of $200 million at the function in KAPATU, he says they're making it 300 million and it will be split into two, 150 million for the university and 150 for Karamoja, for water.
Yes.
As a whole. So, therefore, I don't know what I should be saying this, but as always, I want to encourage all of you to contribute candidly and constructively to approach this assumption I have said many times with openness and shared commitment to excellence. The bishop was here recently. We had an appointment, but we were engaged in another meeting, which ended when I was already in bed. So and the bishop called me and said, "Can we come now?" That shows the level of commitment. Unfortunately, I was not at the same level.
At the same level, yes.
So, you are most welcome. And please, I felt that I should make something just as a share. They don't take me.
Yes,
So, you are most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I felt I should make a few remarks. The meeting shouldn't take long. I think maybe time for the longer meeting will come, like the big ones we have held before.
Yes, sir.
Very hard detailed. Yes.
That we keep in touch, update you next year, and review the past issues. But before I go into that, I want to, on behalf of my colleagues here and the people in Karamoja, thank you very much for that day you visited us at KAPATU. And the faithful things that were happening, you covered us all. And to know how important it was when we met the Vice President a couple of weeks ago.
A couple of days ago.
Huh?
3 days ago.
The Vice President?
Yes.
Yes. When we met her, she was she was very, I don't know how to say it, but she said, yes, there was misalignment, miscommunication
Yes.
of thoughts
Yes.
and then issues, so they felt it was safer they are removed, but they are aware that these things do happen, especially when events are new, and then they get together after some other meetings. So they received different communications, and so they thought it was wise not to take sides.
Yes.
But
Yeah, people can be very, very.
Yes.
they were asking when you want to go back to Karamoja so that they prepare for, because they also give you that blessing and
I didn't just have been telling my people that I'm now a Karamoja.
so
I've been telling people I'm now a Karamoja chief.
yes.
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 Yeah, So,
someone said, "Man, I don't know, you're not the chief, you're just an elder." Okay.
well, yes, rightly said and observed, a lot has been done. The team here has been very, very busy, extremely busy. There's been no time to do other things since that time. And my brother Dr. Bimulim will explain you the details in a more lucid matter of what has been done. And also, we have a list of the things that urgently need to be done. Because what are about certain timetables. The major asking is to make sure that in the meeting by April, we are given the university status. And it's crucial for certain things afterwards, so that we can become a public university within a certain period of time. And in this, in order to beat it, we have had another meeting with the National Council of Higher Education to show proof that we have done a lot of work and we're actually ready now. But there are still some things of bad taste that we need to resolve, which will require your skills and your authority and your understanding and wisdom, so that you can bring us together. On our part, we don't think we have done anything in the negative, and we want to work closely with the council. But we still see some bad faith that we know we can handle. And being at this level, I must give you the facts. For instance, we were told that, we know that the Ministry of Education refused to put in the budget for supplementary. That's one of the acts, because of whatever reason they have. So it was the members of parliament who put it in for consideration. And even worst of all, just recently, the PS went to the Ministry of Finance and told him that you should not, I don't want KAPATU in my documentation. So the PS told her that, look, I got a letter from the president to give these people 30 million. And it was supposed to be in the last financial year, but now even this one you don't want. Okay, put it in writing. So it's as bad as that, sir. But we are not.
Did she? Did she put it in writing?
No, not yet. I don't think she will. And this is something which
She wants to contradict the president.
I find that there is very bad faith in some people, and we think they really want to kick KAPATU at a lower level.
Meeting.
Do behind scenes to know this, to see how you can proceed cautiously. But I'm confident that as per a bit of our training of intelligence officers, you can do some prophylaxis to make them relax and not even know you know, so that they can play their whatever they want to do, but we can. So these are some of the challenges you see it, and they are there. But we are not worried. He will give you some details of some of these challenges in a better format. Mine is to introduce them to you. So these are some of the challenges, but we think by April we should have this provisional license. That's the major asking. And then there will be some issues, of course, on fundraising, which are critical, because a lot of work has been done. And technically, by what the president had wished, we should have actually used 30 billion by now. This is really what the president wanted us to do, but because of those obstacles, we have used only 10. But I'm grateful, sir, to let you know that these people who volunteered have done so much work. Committees have been set up, they have started doing a lot of detailed work on staffing issues. A lot of structures and furnitures have been done, getting us very ready, but it's not enough. Maybe when we send you the video to see privately, quietly, you know now see how much is there and what has been done. We are just having one more meeting with the National Council of Higher Education to take off all that they were querying, which really to me, sir, was not, some of them are not in good faith, but they wrote. For instance, they wanted to know who gave the bishop the authority. How do you ask a bishop an authority? According to the canon law, according to even other, the bishop, even the Pope is a bishop. They have the law, the Catholic law to back up. But we are not hard on that. So this is the situation, sir. My brother will explain, and the chairman will also explain. Our senior politician will also explain some other aspects. I thought I should just crown it in that manner and allow them to give you the details. Basically, we are grateful that you can be with us today again. Thank you, sir.
To put on the hat, especially of the chief international fundraiser, which you are comfortable with in many ways. You started very well, sir, by reminding us that we were in Kotido on the 23rd of November, and it was successful. It was really, by all standards, a very magnificent event in the history of the people of Karamoja, but also of KAPATU itself. The numbers that came, the variety of people, not only in Uganda, but also in Kenya, Ethiopia, in Turkana, Southern Sudan. The Atekere, the word there is Atekere. The Atekere community was served with such a great array of hope and enthusiasm by that occasion. But it was very significant also for the university project, as it is called now, because we used it to reach many, many people of Karamoja, many categories. You had alluded, sir, that there had been some level of this congruence of agreement between the political, the local people in Karamoja. That event actually showed, as people testified, that we had now come more together to agree that the university is vital. And even those that initially showed signs of uncertainty actually spoke in the positive, and they were the ones that took the podium to take much of the time. You recall at some point we were saying, can people summarize their speeches? Some of those long speeches were really by the people who earlier on had said, no, this thing is not correct, let's do something else. So we were very much happy that it was a confirmation for that. But of course, as you said, and our team leader has said, your presence there that day actually did not make people feel the questions we were having internally. They said, this is really correct, because if we have a guest of honor at the level of the Right Honorable Hon Amama Mbabazi, it is really adequate. It is a sign that the top government is there, the top party leadership is there. And we had pitched, you remember, that this university as still an instrument for the unfinished business of the liberation of Uganda, which you are at the helm. Subsequently, we have hosted a vetting session by the National Council in readiness for verification. As part of what the National Council does, it has got some kind of steps that people who want to establish the university must follow. One of them is vetting. So we did. We went to the council, we reported there in time, we gave them what was available, we uploaded in their systems, and now they know. And they queried us, they even gave us some more additions, and we subsequently corrected and provided additional improvements to what they had mentioned during the vetting. Then they actually wrote back to us officially saying, from what we have seen, you are now ready for verification, which is number 3, that you are ready for verification. Now, what verification means is, okay, we have seen this, you have told us you have got this infrastructure, because we have a certificate of what they call interim authority, and we're supposed to do 4 things. 1, establish infrastructure. We told them in the vetting it is there, so they said we shall come and see in the verification. 2, mobilize resources. We gave them evidence that resources had been mobilized. They said they will come and see. 3, make sure that we have got programs which we would like to run in the university. And those programs are meeting the standards. And number 4, the human resource that can run the university. And we told them that these are now available. So they came to KAPATU headquarters in Yoselaka in December. And we hosted them for about 5 days. Yes, it was such a very detailed team. Actually, it was only a technical team headed by Professor Bira of the University of the University of Agriculture of Busitema, and she really led up a team composed of other universities, Soroti University. They were also from the National Council themselves, and Makerere. So they came, all departments, engineering, the people of national health systems. So whatever programs we said we wanted to start running, they were there. And they came with all seriousness to make sure that their report can show whether KAPATU is really there or not yet there. So I think we can say that what came out from the verification team, their report, was that KAPATU had surpassed, in many cases, had surpassed the standards. Because for them, they call it minimum standards, because you can go further ahead. So we think the report was that KAPATU had actually surpassed most of the standards that they normally use. They, however, had some observations, which they brought to us, and they were presented in a meeting we held at the National Council as number 4 in respect of our application. And Right Honorable, they provided us some good guidance, and we hope that our report of April, of March, in order to make us ready for April board meeting, will be very comprehensive and will make sure that we surpass the requirements. We have since conducted, and I will tell you what were the issues they raised in the next. Some of the members who came to do the verification were silently eyeing, I think the word you used, eyeing to see if they can join KAPATU later when they go back. So the staff complement is there, and I think we are moving very well in the right direction. We have offices, we have classrooms, the boardrooms are there. We have the required amount of infrastructure to actually start a university. Some of them had even said that it is funny that some of the licensed universities who have a provisional license have just one floor, in a small building somewhere in Kampala or something like that. But KAPATU has both land and infrastructure that is required. So I think that we are confident at the technical requirements, that when you, the president or others say, let KAPATU have, it will not be a decision in vain. It is really a decision that is backed by good infrastructure. And Right Honorable, our reports there will give you even the actual specifications of what we have there and in details. We have conducted a review of our staff again in compliance with what the National Council, because they went through all the files of the staff, but they said, please regularize this, and that's what we are doing now. Since Monday, we have hardly slept. We finish at about 10 p.m. and get back at 8 a.m. Even now, we have just been working because at least we are able to demonstrate to you that work is going in reality, and it's not just the seriousness we are putting into this thing comes from the inspiration that comes from you, the president, and also the first lady, who have been really eager to show that this institution can play a role in turning Karamoja, in the right direction. We have carried out a financial audit, sir, and I'm sure in the reports we are giving you, there is also an audit report. This was an independent audit of the resources we received, from the president and other sources. We believe in accountability and being accountable in reality. Because where we have reached, we need people who are committed and genuinely willing to sacrifice for Karamoja, as you have done for the whole country and Karamoja. We need the cadres now down to show this. And we think that that report shows the financial resources were put to the right use. Ready. Should be ready for you and the president to open to the use of the university. KAPATU has subsequently submitted a budget. You will recall, sir, that we did not receive the entire grant that the president had given. We received the 10 billion and the 20 billion is still undisbursed. And we had thought that it would automatically be in the ministerial policy statement of the Ministry of Education. But we learned that we were excluded, KAPATU was excluded from that important way. So when they were submitting to the committee, parliamentary committee, the ministerial policy statement with the kind of resources they would like for the budget of 26-27, KAPATU was not there. But because we don't want to sit, we used our own contacts, and thank God we have the MP for Kotido himself is here, and we said, but we are present in the parliament as KAPATU. Why don't we make sure that we take our case to the parliamentary committee of education? And that was what was done. And actually the parliamentary committee accepted that KAPATU must be included in the budget. So it was done, and it was subsequently presented even to the floor of Parliament. And now Minister of Finance has gone ahead and ensured that it is there in the budget called circulars as expected. That is what Duku Philip was referring to when he said, when this was put in from that side of Parliament, there was a kind of negative reaction, asking that these resources should not be included. If you want, put it somewhere else. Can you imagine? And that sounds really very, very offending, especially for us who come from Karamoja. We feel it is a task to be a Karamojong in Uganda. And really, we don't expect that to happen at this modern age. So we really expect that we are welcome, we are also supported. These resources have already been given. We are not asking for new subvention. It's just to pass through, just a pass through. But even that is difficult. So we are hoping that you will help us correct this matter with the authorities that are there. We have prepared, sir, a very good advocacy documentary which captures why KAPATU is important, the state of Karamoja now, why we think KAPATU is a cure for many, many areas that we are struggling with, but also what has been done and who are behind it. And it was very good that there is a section there that shows your very strong injection of support for KAPATU and continuous engagement with Karamoja, and your good attire, which you referred to. You are a new person in that documentary, and when people see, they really feel you are one of us. You are really an elder, indeed a chief of Karamoja. This is really great.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
It's really very great documentary. But behind this documentary will be other pieces of advocacy clips that we are going to develop. We have asked the communication team to do so. We have got a young man called Charles Mangusha. Is the one now responsible for our communication and PR. So I think we are really happy with his team. We have initiated discussion with the TVET Council.
I'm supposed to the judge.
Charles Mangusha.
Yeah, the young man of the MTN.
Yes, yes,
NBS.
The degrees, and especially the communities of Karamoja and so on. These have already become advanced in the discussions, and we hope that we will be able to chalk down the programs through the academic team that we have. Lastly, sir, on the question of progress, we would like to highlight two other aspects. One, we have established for security reason the university police, and is there manned by the police team that is in Kotido, and the university is secure. They have the security at daytime, they beef it up at the night, and so the installations and everything, we have got our CCTV cameras, and we are able to monitor what's going on at the university. So we feel that under the leadership of Ndugu Philip, that the security team is working very hard to ensure that the resources and assets are secure in Karamoja. Of course, the last one is to say that last Thursday we had a meeting, a briefing session again with the Vice President, the one we are having today with you. And this information is also known to her now. She was given this information and she's promised to go to the President and brief the President. But it was also agreed that on the return of the bishop has gone to Rome for what they call ad limina apostolorum. So when he comes, we will have a meeting, I hope, with the President to again brief the President and bring him and Mama on board, so that also they play their role. Because as you know, you have all come on to this as part of the continuation of the liberation of Uganda. Yes. Karamoja being the last frontier. Really, that we must do this. And so we thank you that at least you have given us the time today to brief you and bring you on board on what's happening. What are the key challenges? We have 3 challenges that we think are key to bring to you, sir. One of them is really what Ndugu Philip had hinted. We feel there is a delay in giving KAPATU a license. In the last meeting, we are told, the meeting of March, of the board of National Council, they gave 2 new universities, provisional license, which we were asking for. I think one is in Mukono here, I think another one somewhere in Seta or something. Can you imagine? Already it's flooded with universities. Mukono University is already there, and there are other branches of Makerere. They have given them other 2 universities. I'm wondering, why are we being delayed? So, we would like, sir, to request that something is done to request or to require that KAPATU is given this license in the April meeting, because we have it. Number 1, we have finished the vetting. It is done. It was successful. We finished the verification. It's done. It was successful. However, they raised 3 issues, and they are there. Number 1, tell us, they say, the shareholding and the relationship between the private shareholders and the Catholic Church. We have been able to discuss these items in very big detail, the shareholders and the Catholic Church, and we are prepared a response for that. We would like to request that this response is accepted by the National Council. Some of the questions they asked, sir, were very, very intrusive, almost bordering illegality in our view, because they were asking, how did you agree to become partners, you and the bishop? How did the bishop get authority? From who? Can you imagine? This is something which is not asked by the National Council. It is asked by other authorities, like the National Registration Board, if it is there for companies. But this company is already agreed, it's registered, it has got shares, all signed, and that's the one which is interested in establishing university. What else do you need? Why do you want to unveil everything around it? So we would like, sir, that you look at this and see whether you could weigh in so that we don't have any problem with them anymore. They also asked land ownership. We have also gone back, and the bishop has said, we as the Catholic Church have allocated land, 76 acres for this university.
150 acres of land.
Oh yes, 150 acres of land. It is hectares I was talking to. 150 acres. So here is the title, but it is not in the name of KAPATU yet. That's what they are questioning. Why is it not in the name of KAPATU? 99 years, and yet the bishop and the committee have all allocated it for sole use of the university in perpetuity. They think that is not enough. It must be a title.
KAPATU is registered.
Yes. As a limited.
So fascinating.
Correct.
So that shouldn't be matter who the shareholders.
Yes.
KAPATU is an entity. So
Sure. Yes, limited company. So we have done the land documents, they're there. Then they're asking us to look at the space, more space for the ICT lab for teaching ICT. We have also shown them that we have allocated additional space. We already had some, but we have allocated additional space for that. And that really should not make us miss the 25th meeting, the April 25th meeting. Even if it is if there are issues, we can still address them between now and then. We are preparing our report and it is getting to be submitted. There is also what Dr. Philip said, we have a big challenge of accessing these resources. Here the question is accessing, not even having a decision to have the resources. And we'd like, sir, that you help us to look at the accessing of these resources, especially the grant from the president. Initially, when we had a meeting, after the president had granted the 30 billion, the First Lady herself, in a meeting where we were present, I think the 4 of us in this room, 4 of us were present in that meeting, she categorically said, give KAPATU 10 billion now, this is already in the budget, but immediately put KAPATU the 20 billion in the supplementary budget of Ministry of Education. That was, for us, an order that was so clear. Even Ministry of Justice was there, Ministry of Finance was there, everybody was there. We were all surprised that even after that, they actually made it difficult for us to access the first 10 billion. They gave us 3 billion first, and they almost refused to give us 7 billion. It had to take, again, the intervention of the Vice President and the Ministry of Finance to give us the 7 billion. In fact, at some point, sir, to tell you how hard it was, the Ministry of Finance said, Ministry of Education, we shall not allow you to submit your warranting authorization unless KAPATU is there, the 7 billion. That was the only thing that took them, because they wanted their money, not that they wanted to have, to support KAPATU. So we found this really very absurd, this kind of practice. Why negativity to KAPATU? There must be something beyond, and that's what I think the intelligence team and mine of Dr. Philip is actually beginning to unearth that there is something behind, and maybe in the discussion they will be able to let you into some of what they think. But even the balance, after we got this 10, even the balance, which was already granted last year and we could not go into the supplementary, could not enter into their next year's budget in the ministerial protest until again we intervened at the parliamentary level with the work of the Honorable Oki and others. But we are asking why? Why? Are we doing something bad for Uganda? Is there something hidden that we don't know? Doesn't Karamoja need this according to the Ministry of Education analysis? When Karamoja is the last level of literacy in Uganda, 22%, what is all this? So we are asking why this is really the case. And then thirdly, sir, of course, we have made our efforts to include it right now into the next budget, 2026-27. We hope that we can push it through to the final approvals by the Parliament. But in addition to this accessing issue of the resources, which will come probably in August, we would like, by now, if we had been given the supplementary, we would have continued moving on very well. But our activities now, between now and August, have been curtailed because of limited resources. Our resources are tied somewhere in the Ministry of Education because they don't like us to get it. So we are requesting, sir, that you wear your hat of our fundraiser, our chief fundraiser, in some form to avail KAPATU a local currency of 10 billion as a bridging finance for between now and August of this year, when we think the bigger resources will come. We think that 10 billion would be adequate for now. We know that between you and the president, this is not something which can take a long time to take a decision. but we can identify that already we need some resources for the staffing. We need to continue the building, which we referred to earlier, which is about to get ready. This is very important, and then equip the infrastructure. On that account, sir, we would like to limit our expectations for today to these three major challenges, and now hope that this can be meet for our discussion today, and we can again answer any other question that you might have for clarification. I now yield my time to the chairman of council to give you the other insights as he may wish. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Excellent.
Well, thank you very
Clear
much.
presentation.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Ambassador Idro and Dr. Limling, for what you have said. Sir, I have a few points to supplement on what has been said. One, it is true the elders of Karamoja expect you to go back, but they expect you to go back with His Excellency the President sometime in May to open the building. Sir, the President, as they have said, gave us some money, and we have used some of it to demonstrate that resources can be put to good use and put up the main building in the meantime. It is a two-storied building, and for now it can help us to work as the headquarters. That one has been done and fully constructed using the money that the President has donated. In some places, a small building like that could have cost trillions. We have used less than 2 billion, I think 1.2 billion only. And we are now remaining with a few things to be put. That's why we need some money to make sure that it is complete, so that in May, at a date which we shall agree, you come and bring His Excellency the President to open his building. That's one. Two, as you are aware, sir, Karamoja voted 92%, the entire Karamoja region, defeated the whole of Uganda. In a place like Kampala, where all things happen, they voted for the President less than 50%.
Yes.
But Karamoja, marginalized, forgotten, deserted, have given everything they have to the President. And sir, I can report, and Ambassador Idro from his intelligence network knows that the biggest push for this 92% was KAPATU. The Catholic Church fully went behind. And I think the Catholics in Karamoja are the biggest percentage. They understood the message, it was very clear, and they did what they should do. So the President is expected to come in May, open that building, to give them a license for the university. That's why they voted for him. They expect him with nothing less than a provisional license in May. And then open the university. They want to start learning. They are tired of running in the bush, looking after cows. They also think it is now time for them to come. Point number two, sir, we have talked about the challenge from National Council. We are really at a loss. We do not know what to say. It would appear that the National Council for Higher Education has created a different criteria for evaluating KAPATU. Because one of the questions they have asked is where the bishop gets authority to operate a university. In our understanding, even a pagan can't ask that. They will say university coming, nobody can even ask. National Council is asking a question like that. We expect that at some point they will apologize because it sounds on what is offensive. At least to the Catholic magisterium, which I know. You don't ask such a question. Never, never. In any case, it has been answered. Sections of the provisions of canon law have been cited that give the bishop authority. So what I can say for this meeting is that the Catholic Church operates a top-bottom structure, command and control. The bishop does not go to the village to ask Christians what she should do. The bishop gives commands. Commands come from the top. That is how it is done. So we were shocked that professors, educated as they are, they could not do some simple search and know how to deal. So we expect that at some point they will apologize. Point number two, and very, very shockingly, sir, is that they have added another.
Did you educate him?
Yes, I did. So they added another criteria, and they said that KAPATU is an outfit for Bachiga, Banyankole, Bahima. I can repeat
I
it.
don't know about Banyankole and Bahima, but for Bachiga too.
Yeah. So they added it. So she read for us a list, and on the list on top was Twinobusinje, Mojisha, Asim, and so on.
Recently, I was addressing a gathering at the University of Makeri about the Tumusina Mtebe
Yes. Lecture.
Foundation.
Yes.
So I told them that our purpose was to uplift the level of engagement
Yes.
in the world economy.
Yes.
Because I was talking about its main purpose being promote private sector development in Uganda. And that, I said the purpose was to raise the level of Bachiga to more standards.
Yes.
And I could see we started looking at each other. I said Bachiga means every black person.
So, sir, when we appeared and we thought we had answered every question, the ED, Professor Mero Kokor, came with a list and she started reading it. And she gave that impression that KAPATU was an outfit for Bachiga, Banyankole, Bahima, perhaps to go and take the resources from Karamoja. That is the most absurd part of it. In fact, through the interaction, they said that we had already identified where minerals are and so on, and this thing had become an enclave of this
Who was in that?
Professor Mary Kokor. You can call her and ask her. Yes, it's not a rumor. We have reported the same thing. We shall tell the president. We think we needed to do a lot more.
She was joking with this.
No, she was not. So it was a very serious matter. In fact, that's
Are you sure?
that's the point at which the meeting ended. That was how bad it was. Because she came with a list and she said, are there no people in Karamoja? Twinobusinje, Mujisha, I don't know what, read all the names. So it is very serious. It was not a joke. And so it was said ex cathedra, we do not sit in the chair of authority to begin talking these things. Whatever KAPATU has been doing is in black and white, it is in open, it is on the website, there is nothing to hide. So, but we were able to explain and that look, the people you see are volunteers. They came to support a cause and they occupy those positions because they qualified to be there. And at some point we have asked Karamoja to give us people to occupy those positions. We are still to see a response which comes from there.
So did she mention Mr. Yoram?
Initially, sir, at the time when we were going to unveil, she wrote a letter.
Oh, myself.
Yes, she wrote a letter in which she said she did not expect.
As among those who are eyeing Karamoja,
Yes, sir, she implied it because she said that the president was conflicted. She wrote a letter. We shall give you a copy. She wrote a letter saying the president is conflicted. And to be conflicted means you have insider dealings, you are doing business with your families inside KAPATU. She wrote it. We had forgiven her not to embarrass her by giving her a formal response, but now we will give it. So when you accuse the head of state of being corrupt, that's very serious. Actually, she should have resigned after signing that letter. She should have left. You cannot accuse your appointing authority and you continue serving in front of him. You just leave because it is a sign of no confidence. So we expected her to know how best to do those things. So these are some of the other criteria that they have included inside the National Council that are becoming an obstacle. What am I supposed to do, me as a Mchiga? Which doctor in Uganda can go and remove my blood and replace it with the Cameroon blood? We told her we did not apply to belong to these tribes, like she didn't apply to belong to the tribe where she was born. We are all accidents of nature. You were born and found yourself what you are. There's nothing much we can do about it, but we need to raise our level of consciousness. We told her that she should see everyone as an accident of nature, and that we do the best we can because our skin color is simply something that we find ourselves with. We never apply for it. So we found this, and two, sir, one of the other issues that we need to deal with is when the president gives an order, the presidential directive, that is how it comes these days. It is a command that must be complied with. when the presidential directive is countermanded by the permanent secretary, sir, we have been told not long ago, I think about 3, 4, 5 days ago, the permanent secretary, Minister of Education, went to the Ministry of Finance and told the PSST himself that I do not want KAPATU in the Ministry of Education. Remove it, I don't want to see it. So when somebody countermands a presidential directive, in some jurisdictions, it can attract summary execution. Let her go and repeat it in North Korea. She will see what will happen. What Kim Jong-un will do. So in some jurisdictions, you don't do. The presidential authority, you do not question it. Simply comply with it and ask later. And this is where we have found a problem, where the president gives a directive, the first lady adds her voice. They are all very, very committed, but we are still being dragged through these things, which is not a good thing to do. And so we hope that you take it up. What we are saying here, we can say everywhere. We are not speaking in secrets, and we hope that something is going to be done about these institutions. Because we have gone to liberate Karamoja, this is the second phase of the war in Luweero. Whereas the rest of Uganda was liberated, Karamoja remained backward. And KAPATU is now the next focus to liberate Karamoja once and for all. It is a turnkey project that responds to education, to health, to agriculture, to engineering and technology and skilling and everything that you can think about.
And the mind for the people.
And yes, and the mind, and socio-economic. So this, what we are doing right now, we are aware that we are in a state of war. The war that was finished from Luweero, now we have focused on Karamoja. So if anyone puts himself in the way as to where we are going, they should know the consequences. They should understand the language of war. Anything else can be done, and later on the doctors will come and the humanitarian organizations to find out what happened and so on. Maybe it is in Rusira or somewhere else. So these are the kinds of situations that we're doing. Sir, finally I would like to say that the bishops are committed, and the bishops are they are normally very careful when they are making decisions. When they are sure they cannot succeed, they don't get involved. But when they get involved, it can only be success, nothing else. And that is why we are sure that KAPATU will succeed against all odds. The church is committed, the church is very clear, the church does not deceive, and the Catholic Church cannot be deceived. They are capable of doing all those things. So I think the president, when he comes in May in Kotido, he will be very happy to see what he finds. The lecture rooms are ready, all of them. The offices are ready. The building has reached at the fastest speed, at the fastest level that you can that you don't find in many places. Why? Because that is how the Catholic Church works. When they start something, they finish it, close it, and go something else. So we are prepared to open the doors of all students come August, against all orders. In fact, sir, what we requested the Vice President, we request today. If National Council for Higher Education continues to pull their feet, the president should bypass them because he has power to do so. He should bypass them. Karamoja must go to class and study. They entered into a contract with him. They delivered. He has delivered. There is no reason why billions and billions of money should be sunk. Billions have been sunk in Kotido at Rosirang. When you go, it is not the same place where you went. It has changed completely. So every minute that passes without these resources being put to use, it is a waste. Why should money be wasted, taxpayers' money be wasted, to be kept there? Our library is functional, fully functional. We are now connecting all schools in Karamoja to this library to begin using it. So now schools are using it, but the university students cannot use it, yet it is ready. That is hundreds and hundreds of millions of money which has been sunk, courtesy of the president. Why can't we open the doors? Sir, we know that our constitution puts power in the hands of the president as the chief executive of the country. Anybody else performs delegated responsibility. Anybody else, including those civil servants, they perform delegated responsibility. If they delay, he can bypass them. And I think this is the next thing that we shall do. So National Council should either perform or be embarrassed. and they know that that doesn't happen without consequences, and very, very nasty ones. So, sir, I thought that for now, I should stop here so that my colleagues can also add. But we are very grateful, sir, that you have given us the opportunity to come and interact, and so far, so good. Thank you, sir.
I always say thank you.
Alakaranoi.
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 So he's saying to you, Alaka.
Because whatever we are doing is what we have agreed with His Excellency the President. Of course, including the fact that he asked the bishop if the bishop is willing for the university to be made a public university and become a nucleus for the Karamoja region. So when you get into this fight, is it the president being fought? Is it the KAPATU being fought? Or both? But certainly in this case it's the president, because you do not want him to see his dream come true. Because he basically today expressed and said, Bishop, if you agree, then you have given me an answer to the question of a public university in Karamoja. Reason being, he has waited for the Constituent College and is not taking off 8 years down the road. So he saw KAPATU was moving and in the easiest direction to move to solve the problems of the region, because Karamoja has to move now. So we really need your intervention there. Two, of course, emphasizing the issue of the provisional license. In fact, it's the biggest impediment now for us to move. Can you imagine, after all these functions that have been mentioned, the Karachuna are calling and saying, Abraham, what is exactly happening? When are you enrolling? This morning I was talking to a Karachuna called Omaria, and I was like, have you included my name in the list among the learners to start? So you can see, with all this high expectation, how do we respond to it if we do not create pressure for the National Council for Education to comply? Why does National Council find it easier to issue provisional licenses to some universities, but find it hard for this particular one? Because I think after you guys have fought the liberation, there should be no point of marginalization again where we have reached. It's like Karamoja is the last born who should now join the rest of Uganda and we all move together. But there's a group that still feels like, no, first hold on outside, let the guests first finish and then you can come in later. For me, that's how I look at it. I think we need to do something. If there's something within your means and your contacts and your influence, we'll appreciate that. National Council even issues a license tomorrow before Council sits. Council can sit and do a retrospective approval. Because they have gone, they have seen with their naked eyes, they have appreciated that this is better than other universities that have never had the kind of infrastructure that we have. But we need to be helped there because August is near. If we go beyond August, I don't know how we're going to explain this to the Karamoja whose interest we have elicited in terms of how it's going to help them, how it's going to bring about peace and stability in that area. I don't know how we're going to explain that, so, but I think we have an obligation to do something so that things can move in the right direction. The issue of additional resources, I think that is very straightforward. We have a team that we are working with, but we do not have the resources to connect, to motivate them between now and possibly when the budget will be unveiled. And that's why the reason is being given for the 10 billion to help us finish up that structure, but also to keep the team moving and working. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones that are assembling what we need to be able to open our doors for the students in August. If we miss that point, then that means we'll get a license, but we will not have the groundwork set for the university to be able to open. But the other pressure point is the statements that were made in the meeting with the First Lady. Because she said, Bishop, what did you say? And Bishop said, we want this to become a public university. Then he said, if that is what it is, then we are happy with it. You will now, KAPATU will now take over the infrastructure of the Constituent College in Moroto.
That's what she
I
said.
think
Yes.
that's where the pressure now is coming from. The beneficiaries want to fraudulently work underground and make things.
So, if you have something,
Yes, sir. It is very quick. They have talked about Attorney General. You see, sir, part of what we have found inside the ministry, technical people, and at National Council for Education, is that they are opposed to something called the Catholic Church. We want it to be written, we shall also write about it. In March, on 3rd March 2025, no, 3rd January 2025, a meeting was held in Guru, chaired by General Salim Saleh. It was attended by Archbishop Odama, Archbishop Raphael Okrach of Guru, and Bishop Dominic. And they said that as part of the National Reconciliation Program, we needed to make sure that the church, the Catholic Church specifically, and the state work formally together, so that they are not seen as antagonists. And this is where we started to say, let us start the operation called church and state relationship. Some people, technical people, are opposed to this idea, and that is why some people in the Ministry of Education and National Council went through the Attorney General to write an opinion that suggests that a Catholic Church cannot be a foundation body of a public institution. Contrary to the law, we tried to go through that, and that has been something going on.
I'm just
Yes.
So, and that is something that has been going on. So much as you see all these machinations, at the heart of it, they are opposed to something called the Catholic Church working together. Some people want to see the church and the state fighting all the time. While this group, headed by Saleh, wants the two to.
So, gentlemen, others may have had additional comments, but I'm afraid time is not our friend now. So, as we close, I just want to sincerely thank you, and Philip wants to fly away. I mean, for the presentations, you've made very clear presentations, your frank contributions, and the constructive spirit, I think, in which today's discussion was conducted. From the updates you have received, it is clear that good progress is being made in the preparations for opening KAPATU. That is encouraging. You know, I always tell those who listen to me, young people, that life is constant struggle. You don't have time for me to expand on that, but it's clear. Life is a constant struggle. And I'm encouraged because I think what you are showing, what you've done so far, shows that you are acting in the context of that spirit. Not all is smooth sailing, as it is in life, ordinary life. So it's very encouraging. It shows commitment, resilience, and the serious sense of purpose which I mentioned in my opening remarks on the part of all those working to bring this institution into existence. And I commend you all for that effort. At the same time, I think from your presentations, we clearly must be honest ourselves about the wider context in which this project is unfolding. Karamoja, I've said this many times before, I said so in my speech in Kotido. Karamoja has for a very long time suffered neglect and discrimination. From the colonial period, and even in the years that followed, up to the time when we took over in 1986, this region was too often treated as if it stood outside the full promise of national progress. And I keep telling stories, people think I'm exaggerating, but actually Karamoja was treated as a game reserve by the British.
Yes.
This is a fact.
Human soul.
It was empty of human habitation. And that's why in 1948 they offered it to the Jews to resettle them. Those had been displaced because of the discrimination they had suffered all over the world. That history cannot be ignored. It is part of the reality that makes this university not just an educational project, but a matter of justice, correction, and inclusion. It is therefore understandable that some people may still not see why Karamoja deserves deliberate support, including affirmative action, because really what we ought to have started long ago was affirmative action for Karamoja, along the lines of this royal triangle thing and all those others. Karamoja should have been in that. Some elements within government and within, from your reports and to my knowledge, the education establishment may still hold the view that this region should simply wait its turn. This is the Obote line I told you about. His response to Victoria Britain, who was a journalist representing the Guardian of London, when she asked him, "But Mr. President, in your presentations, you have not highlighted the plans for Karamoja." And Obote answered, he said, Uganda's development cannot wait for Karamoja. This is the same mentality that some elements have here. But that is precisely the kind of thinking that has kept historical imbalances in place for too long. The struggle that brought the NRM to power was, among other things, a struggle to correct historical wrongs, restore fairness, and build a more inclusive environment. Karamoja was specifically recognized as one of the examples of those historical injustices requiring redress. I made this point in my speech. We have always, from the day we started talking about KAPATU, I've been singing this song. It's like a song. And the government policy has continued to treat the sub-region as needing targeted development attention. Hence, the idea of affirmative action. So in that light, the establishment of KAPATU should not be seen as a favor to Karamoja. It should be seen as part of the long overdue effort to give this region what it has historically been denied: opportunity, dignity, investment, and a fair place in the national future. Our response, therefore, must not be in anger or despair in the face of opposition. Our response must be greater clarity, stronger preparation, deeper unity, and unwavering professionalism. We must continue to build a case that is morally right, intellectually credible, legally compliant, and nationally beneficial. We must show by the seriousness of our work that KAPATU is not only necessary for Karamoja, but valuable for Uganda as a whole. So today's meeting has confirmed that progress is being made. It has also reminded us that much still lies ahead. Let us therefore leave this room with renewed determination. My suggestion is that we hold other meetings to discuss some of these aspects one by one in detail and adopt a strategy on how we push, how we continue with this struggle. And let's do that. We encourage patience and discipline, and let us remain guided by the conviction that correcting historical neglect is not special pleading, it is nation building. So, calm down. There is nothing that cannot be overcome. So, I want to say thank you for your commitment, your openness, and your continued service in this important cause. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best. Don't give up. I am sure we will succeed.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So, you want to take a picture as well?
Immigration agenda, and to put the American people first. It's time to pay TSA.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All the best. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.